God of Destruction Topo is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, but that's not all. Alongside this new character being released this weekly reset, we also got a brand new patch that delivered some pretty shocking adjustments to some characters that I absolutely did not see coming. So you know we have to go over that in today's video. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. And before we get into this, probably going to be a double, maybe even triple upload day. Before we get into the Topo gameplay later on today, we have to address the Season 1.2 patch notes that were just released this weekly reset alongside the new character. There was also another update as well, changes to trial heroes and resolved issues. Now we're going to start with the changes to trial heroes and resolved issues because this is something that we already knew was coming. They addressed this a couple of weeks ago, I think, when they addressed, I think this might have actually gotten addressed, just not implemented yet in the last patch. I'm not too sure. I won't even go back that far for now since the patch is already here. But this is going to start out by saying changes to trial heroes and resolved issues. Thank you for always playing Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. We would like to inform you about changes to the trial hero and resolved bugs. So this is going to start out by saying about the trial hero. As of today, October 29, 2025, the number of trial heroes has increased to 6 with more heroes available for you to try out. We hope you'll find your favorite. The trial heroes available until November 5th, 2025 are listed below. So the new 6 trial heroes, and unfortunately the new characters aren't going to be here. I still really hope that they implement that one day, because having you have to pay for all of the new characters, honestly, I don't know how long the game is going to last if that's just going to be like how they do things from now on. At the very least, allow people to try out the new heroes as, you know, trial characters, right? But the 6 new trial heroes are going to be Piccolo, Daima Goku, Baby, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Krillin, and Hit. The mission battle using trial heroes one time can also be completed by battling with any of the above heroes you already own. Trial heroes are expected to change weekly. So all 6 trial heroes, and they raised the number to 6, which is something that they told us they were going to do a while ago, are going to change weekly from now on. Resolved issues, and I say from now on because I have all of the characters unlocked regardless, so I don't really know how often they were changing the trial heroes before. Now onto resolved issues. The following issue has been resolved. The hero Super Oob was able to attack Gods of Destruction even without Zeno present. I had no clue that that was a thing. If you guys have experienced that, what I'm gonna, I guess, call a bug or a glitch, I don't know, let me know down below in the comments. I have never seen this before, partially because I never really see people play Oob, but even when I do, I promise you I've never seen this. By utilizing the properties of skill 2, it was possible to attack Gods of Destruction without Zeno's assistance, so we have made adjustments. Is that his move? It's kind of like explosive wave move. I think it is, right? Because the first one is the cyclone projectiles. It's kind of like Baby's first skill, if I'm not mistaken. And then the third one is his, you know, movement type move, right? Where he does like the flip, and then he's able to blast out all of his cyclone stacks. Or I don't really use Oob that much, so you guys get what I'm saying though, right? I think his skill 2 is his kind of explosive wave type move. Next, number 2 is going to be compensation for the change in the maximum holding limit for EX coins has begun. Did they raise this? With the data update on October 22nd, 2025, we have changed the EX tokens holding limit from 1,500 to 1. I think that, is that 1 billion? I'm pretty sure that is 1 billion. Who the hell? They could have just raised this to like 10K. That would have been fine, right? Nobody is spending that much on this game. I mean, honestly, there probably is somebody out there spending that much on this game where they have like 1 million EX tokens. If you're that person, you need to calm down. Maybe think about, you know, taking your card off. That is diabolical, nefarious activity even. Effectively removing the limit. Therefore, we have begun sequentially compensating customers who previously reached their holding limit and were unable to receive tokens with EX tokens starting today. Okay, that's pretty cool actually, because I know 1,500, that's still a lot. I've been playing this game almost daily since obviously before it came out. Like I played all the betas, but since launch I played this game almost daily. I'm not really spending money on the game outside of buying the new characters. I'm not spending on cosmetics, and I still only have like 500 EX tokens. So I know people personally that have some of these EX skins already, a couple of them. So maybe, I guess they're going to be getting compensated. If you're one of those people that have, you know, hit that limit and you just weren't spending and you keep on going over that limit, hey, kudos to you, man. You're getting compensated for all of those EX tokens that you went over the limit for, I'm guessing. The descriptions for Helper's shoe contained an error. The listed performance differed from the actual capabilities, so we have corrected it as follows. I don't use shoe that much, but if this is true, that's actually pretty interesting. I'm surprised that this went on for as long as it did, and it took this long to get fixed, because that's actually something that I feel like should come up a long before now, right? We're almost at the end of season 1 and they're just not correcting this. So before correction, this is going to read applies all defense down and movement speed down to enemy heroes in range, but after correction is going to read applies mark to enemy heroes in range. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. We've also fixed other minor issues. Thank you for playing Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Now, I'm gonna say this, guys, and I'm only saying this because we know this is something that they fixed in the last patch before this, if I'm not mistaken. Last night, I was playing before the weekly reset where we got Topo and everything like that. I was playing a match. I think I was using Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And I got the damn error code again that kicked me out of the match, and it took me like 15-20 minutes to get back into the game. This is the first time that that's happened since that last patch, so I don't know, maybe this was a one-off thing. It was really weird. I was kind of tilted though because we were doing really good. Matter of fact, we had broken all of their bases. We were in the middle of hitting the dragon shell, and then the game just crashed. So I don't, hopefully that's not still happening to you guys, but I just want to throw that out there in case Bandai is watching this video. I did still get that error last night, but it's the only time that it's happened since it got addressed. So I'm hoping that it's not a constant thing and other people are still experiencing this as well. So on to the season 1.2 patch notes. This is actually pretty massive. A couple of characters got buffed, and did they actually need it? Zamasu, sure. Did the Gammas really need to get buffed in the way that they did? We'll go over all of that here. So Zamasu, passive body regeneration, increased regeneration gauge duration, max from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Luckily, that's all they did. I mean, if they want to retroactively buff Baby again, I would be all for that. Baby and Zamasu, they were probably the best characters in the game in the betas. So if they want to kind of move them up another couple of tiers in people's tier lists, I wouldn't be mad at that. The Gammas though, I don't really know if they needed this much love. I do feel like they were very, like I've been saying, they are very player dependent, probably the most player dependent characters in the entire game. So maybe they're just trying to make the Gammas a little bit more accessible to the average player, right? But let's just go ahead and tackle what they did to the Gammas. And as you guys can see, this is going to be a pretty massive buff right here. There's still more scrolling that we have to do. So status for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Gamma 1 base HP up from 7,484 and 15,368 to 8,165 and 16,765. So this is a pretty big jump, about 700 points from base HP at their lowest level to at their max level, a jump from over 1,000. Now for Gamma 2, his base HP is down from 6,124 and 12,574 to 5,443 and 11,177. A pretty big decrease for Gamma 2's base HP. It looks like they're really trying to balance out the status of both Gammas and bring them a little bit closer together, but let's just go ahead and move on and you guys can tell me what you think by the end of the video. So rush attack damage dealt is going to be increased from 45 to 50. I'm assuming this is for both Gammas since they, you know, both have different attacks. Gamma 1 is range based and Gamma 2 is strike based, so I'm assuming this is going to be the same for both. Now, skill number 1, Gamma Strike, and this can kind of get confusing if you've never played the Gammas before. Skill number 1, the Gamma Strike, is when you switch into Gamma 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this is going to be your switch into Gamma 2, and if you're already Gamma 2, I think this is just going to be his regular heal kick while you're already out. So strike damage dealt increased from 540, 600, and 720 to 720, 800, and 960. That's actually a pretty massive buff for Gamma 2's Gamma Strike. That's kind of crazy. I actually want to use this character today, but we got to get this Topo gameplay out. In my free time, I'll check out the Gammas and see how good they are. Explosion damage dealt increases from 900, 1000, and 1200 to 1080, 1200, and 1440. The explosion damage comes from, I think, the third kick, because if you do these consecutively, not only can you kind of chain these together a little bit, but on the last kick you do, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me down below in the comments, you get the extra explosive damage as well, and I think you get a stun. I could be wrong about that. I have to go actually look at their kit. Let me see right here. I have it pulled up on another screen. I'll put it on the screen for you guys down below so you guys can all read this along too. So Gamma Strike is going to read as Gamma 2 dash forward and deliver a strike. This skill can be reactivated immediately after use. So this is where the kind of chain effect comes in. If a third hit lands, this is the third hit, it explodes and deals additional damage. Cannot be activated when Gamma 2's base HP is 0. So as you guys can see, this is Gamma 2's specific move. While under the effect of special pose, you gain additional HP upon activation and when the strike hits. So back over to the patch notes. Reduces stun duration from activation to dash start from 17 to 13 frames, extended time from third strike hit to explosion from 5 frames to 15 frames, extended stun duration before non-movement actions after third strike ends from 9 frames to 18 frames, and reduces stun duration before movement is possible after third strike ends from 45 frames to 26 frames, and distance moved away from enemy after third strike ends 1.5 to 0.5 meters. They have really put the adjustments on the Gammas right, bro. Man, if Topo didn't come out today, I would be dropping a Gamma video, but I'm gonna play them in my free time. I got a little bit of free time today as long as I get these videos out. So I'm gonna see what's new with the Gammas, how they feel now, and maybe this will be our video for tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe we'll do another double upload tomorrow because I wanted to drop some Spark and Zero. So we'll see what happens. So skill number 2, Gamma Impact. Cooldown time reduced from, and before we get into skill number 2 and what they changed, skill number 2 is going to be his switch effect back into Gamma 1. So skill 1 is for Gamma 2 and skill 2 is for Gamma 1. I know that kind of get confusing if you don't play this character, but I'll go ahead and put the Gamma Impact description on the screen for you guys as well before we get into what exactly they adjusted. So this is going to read as Gamma 1, deal a flying kick that causes a shockwave, gains extra HP upon activation, and when the shockwave hits, creates an explosion after the shockwave and deals more damage at skill level 3. Cannot be activated when Gamma 1's base HP is 0. More damage dealt while special pose is in effect, and special pose is their super attack. So now back over to the patch notes again. Skill number 2, Gamma Impact, the changes are going to read cooldown time reduced from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. Damage dealt reduced. Wow, they actually nerfed this a little bit. Okay, so damage dealt reduced from 760, 850, and 1000 plus 200 at level 3 to 630, 700, and 840 plus 160 at level 3. Extended extra HP duration from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. Increase extra HP gain on hit from 5, 10, and 20% to 10, 15, and 20%. Okay, so they only increased it for level 1 and level 2. But they also gave him a little bit of nerf in the damage dealt as well. Reduced stun duration before action resumption from 24 frames to 20 frames, and movement only from 30 frames to 26 frames. And honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't really touch their passive skill as well, because they're not afraid to mess with a passive like Zamasu's. Body regeneration is one of the potentially strongest passive skills in the game. I'm surprised that they didn't mess with the Gamma's passive, since I kind of see what they're going for here, but the passive skill makes all of this stuff work, right? It makes all of it possible, and then the super attack allows them to revive, so on and so forth. So I think what they're gonna do with the Gammas, they're gonna see how they are for the rest of season 1, and then if they're still not in the spot that they want them to be, whether this is too strong or maybe they nerfed them a little bit too much, they'll probably go back and potentially take a look at their super attack and their passive as well. But I really hope that they figure out what they want to do with the Gammas. One of the most fun characters in the game, one of the most complex characters in the game as well, with, like I said, their ability to revive, their ability to keep switching out, and you have to manage health between the 2 Gammas and things like that, and then their health merges together after you use your super attack. They're a lot of fun. They do take a little bit more thought than the average character though. So this is going to end by saying adjustments. Gekishin rules. Gods of Destruction's force movement by Gods of Destruction now ignore immunity type status effects. For example, no obstruction, immune to all, etc. Okay. So we look forward to your continued support of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, and that is going to do it for season 1.2 patch notes for this game. I was absolutely in shock when I woke up this morning and I saw Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and as well as Zamasu also, but mostly Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 got buffs. Now, of course, we did read that they got a few minor nerfs in here, but overall, this was a big buff for them. So I can't wait to see how strong these guys are now. Hopefully, they're in the right spot to where Bandai and the Gekishin Squadra team wants them to be. Don't get me wrong, they are definitely one of the most annoying characters to go up against in the game, because you technically gotta kill them twice, but they didn't really have that much health to begin with, which is why they, you know, increased Gamma 1's base HP up as much as they did, and kind of decreased Gamma 2's a little bit as well, because you don't want to really take that morale out of a player when they see that they have another full health Gamma that they have to kill after they just expended all their resources on trying to get that first life out, right? But anyways, fellas, that is gonna do it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed, and there will be some Topo gameplay later. But for now, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about the season 1.2 patch notes. Have a great day. I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.